Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining us today. We have a very special speaker who's one of our featured speakers at the Sun Valley Wellness Festival, Panache Desai. Hi, Panache.
Hi.
Thanks so much for coming.
Thank you. It's great to be here with you.
Well, I'll tell you, everybody is so excited that you're here. I think you've already lifted the energy vibration by about 20% since you've been here.
Oh, thank you.
So thank you. Now, you describe yourself as a vibrational catalyst.
Yeah.
And that's to help people to raise essentially their consciousness in their lives. So how do you do that? What does that process look like?
Well, I firmly believe that the more we start to embrace our fear, and the more we start to embrace different aspects of our humanity, the more we start to live in a state of love. And that in our willingness to be courageous and to turn and face our pain, and to begin to accept and integrate everything that we've been running away from, or everything that we've been told is wrong or bad, we begin to access a state of love that is ever present. And ultimately we become peaceful. And then at that point, this peace emanates through us out into our greater world. And the ripple effect, of course, is that people start to feel it. And they start to remember that that's who they are too.
Now, how do you do that? How does someone, because we're so conditioned to run away from our pain.
Yeah.
And as you know, people medicate, they do whatever they can do to move away from that.
Yeah.
So you're saying essentially to embrace that.
That's really the only way to get beyond it. I believe that everything that's playing out in our lives is serving a greater purpose. And ultimately it's only of our conditioning or societal norms that are getting in the way of us just authentically experiencing whatever there is to feel. So the tears that we don't shed become depression. The anger that we won't feel becomes rage. And our fear just gets to a point of unworkability where it just becomes completely irrational and runs our lives.
So how does someone do that? How does someone start that process?
Well, I've lovingly laid it out in my new book, actually, Discovering Your Soul Signature, where, the words on the page take you on a 33-day journey. And literally every day you meet different aspects of yourself, like fear, like sadness, anger, guilt, and shame. All of these parts of us that we've been told are wrong or bad. And we literally start to embrace them. And we shift our perception around them. And then we begin to realize that fear is a natural part of life and living. Like if you're up to anything extraordinary in your life, you're going to feel fear.
Right.
Sadness is a beautiful emotion, it's a blessing. And anger, the only reason why we won't be willing to experience our anger is because it's only ever been modeled to us in a way that's self-destructive. Right. And so it's time for us to shift our conversation around these aspects of ourselves and to realize that, by virtue of the fact that they're there, it doesn't mean that we're broken. They're actually just blessings that are waiting to be embraced and realized.
How would you define energy?
Energy is the invisible substance that animates all life. And for me, emotions are actually energies in motion, that everything is intrinsically in a state of flow.
Are you always in this constant state of flow? I mean, are you always in this, this wonderful state of being that's just so eminent and so powerful and warm?
Well, I think that state stays there because I've learned to run towards my discomfort. And so, for example, when there is something that triggers me or something that, takes me outside of my comfort zone or in some way challenges me, I'm the kind of person where I run towards that. And I'll sit in that and I'll be with that until it no longer has a charge or an impact.
So give us an example. What does that look like? Let's say something really hits you and bothers you and it just takes you off center. And it's maybe, before you have to speak and you've really got to get yourself centered. What does it look like and how you...
Well, I remember when I first started, actually, the internet's a great thing for sharing a message, but also people can go to the internet and write comments and whatever they want, and, they do it under this anonymous cloak. And for me, some of the comments were a little hurtful. And I realized, wow, like, why is it that this is really bothering me? And what's true about this? And so I literally kept rereading the comments until there was no charge anymore. And I went through everything that I had to go through. I actually called one of the people that wrote one of the comments because he left his phone number there.
What'd you say?
I just said, hi, it's Panache, how are you? I just love you and I just wanted to know why you wrote what you wrote. Why you wrote what you wrote. And, we had this great conversation. And by the end of it, he said, you know what? I really love you. I'm going to take it down. And so, again, run towards your discomfort. Run towards what triggers you. Everything is happening for you to stand in the truth of who you are.
It's amazing. So it's essentially what I've been reading and watching you on YouTube and, of course, meeting you and being with you for the past 24 hours. You have a natural love that truly emanates from your heart. Have you always been that way? Was that something?
Yeah.
Because you mentioned that you came from a spiritual family growing up.
Yeah, my first 5 years of my life was spent with my grandmother. She was this really frail Indian lady who had this distinct aroma of coconut oil. And she would just pray every day. And she had this duality playing out in her, like as much as she was devotional and she really believed in a higher power, she was the biggest worrier I'd ever met in my life. And so she'd pray that to make sure that everyone had eaten food that day and that everyone had the money they needed and everyone was healthy. And so I was just immersed in this environment of love. And, you know, we had a meditation center in our house growing up. And for me, that was home. Like, regardless of what was going on with me, I could step foot in that meditation room and I'd be at peace.
Do you still have a meditation room?
You know, Jan and I have this incredible home, and we're so blessed to have a sanctuary in it. And actually, I still have sandals there, and you know, there are mantras playing, and you know, and we have rosaries, and you know, we have a very eclectic sense of devotion and worship in our house. So we have everything.
It really helps you do that.
It does.
Who are your spiritual teachers?
You know, I believe that everything's my teacher. You know, you're my teacher. The cameramen are my teacher. You know, there's something to really glean from everybody. And when you realize that the divine is really infinite, and this infinite expression is trying to communicate to you in every moment, you start listening in a different way. You start embracing people in a different way, because you realize who you're really talking to and who it is that you're really interacting with.
And how do you know the difference if it's some information that you're getting that's positive, the right information, or maybe you're listening to somebody else's ego, or maybe your own ego? How do you differentiate between the two messages?
It's all useful. You know, for me, positive and negative is all human perception. If we could lose the lens of human perception, we'd begin to see everything for what it is, which is love. And we'd begin to recognize that everyone's just doing the best that they can with the awareness that they have.
So do you think love is truly the answer for, when, you know, in so many areas of our lives?
I really do believe that. You know, I honestly feel like when we start to accept who we are and we start to love ourselves, every area of our life takes off. And I've seen it, you know, I've seen it in people from all over the world. Literally their lives have turned around because they've shifted their relationship with themselves. And they've started to embody this love that they are. And it's informing their finances. All of a sudden, you know, promotion happens. It's informing their relationships. All of a sudden there's love and intimacy. It starts informing their health. All of a sudden they're youthful and radiant and luminous. And so literally this energy resides at the core of who we are. It is our soul signature.
What is the soul signature?
It's our spiritual DNA. It's our most authentic expression. You know, and I've discovered that to be this infinite wellspring of love that we all have inside of us.
Yeah, I love that. Now, you know, you're being compared a little bit to a younger version of Deepak. Sorry, Deepak. It's a younger one. But how do you take that? What does that mean to you when you hear that?
I'm honored.
Yeah.
You know, I'm here because of incredible beings like Deepak and all of the wonderful people that have come before me. I'm standing on their shoulders. And to even be mentioned in the same breath as somebody who's had that much of an impact on this earth is an honor. I hope my life measures up to even one iota of what that human being has done for every single person alive.
That's true. What do you hope to gain and walk away with after the Wellness Festival is over?
Well, you know, it's funny, I don't really come for gain or to walk away with. I just come here to just be in the experience of it. And so for me, you know, being here is like a family reunion. You know, from the moment I met you, I just loved you. You know, and I felt that I feel that way about everybody that's here.
Yeah.
You know, this is just the excuse through which we come together.
Yeah.
But really, it's about all of us reconnecting.
Yeah.
And it's like that love that we've shared with each other helps us all find each other again.
Yeah.
So I love you.
Oh,
you're the reason why
the tears
I'm
are coming
here.
now.
You know, and everybody. You know, it's
you.
really, that's the kind of event this is.
Yeah.
That's why I'm honored to be here.
Well, thank you for coming. It means so much to us that you're here. And I look forward to hearing you, which after this, I'm going to go listen to you, and then tomorrow also.
Thank you, sweetheart.
Thank you again.
My love to you.
Oh, thank you. It's wonderful. Thank you.